Hi, I'm Miss Shoemate. I'm the Humanities Instructional Coach at Bowie.
Bryn.
And this is Bryn.
Hi.
And we wanted to wish you a happy International Women's Day.
Happy Women's History Month. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Here I like Michelle Obama in the book.
Why do you look up to Michelle Obama? She knows that working hard makes learning interesting and fun.
Look.
She likes to be silly. Can I share one too, baby?
Let me hold it.
You can hold it for me. Can you share? Not too close, because we want them. Oh, there we go. That's good. I want to honor Chimamanda Adichie. She is my favorite writer, and she is the author of the TED Talk, We Should All Be Feminists, which you can check out on the digital interactive bulletin board. Happy Women's History Month!
Happy Women's History Month!
Hi, I'm Megan Holden, and I'm an English teacher here at Bowie. For Women's Day this year, I would like to honor one of the art world's first working moms. Artemisia Gentileschi was one of Italy's most successful Baroque painters. In an era when women had few opportunities to pursue artistic training or work outside the home, her paintings were widely admired throughout Europe. And this painting of Judith cutting off the head of Holofernes is freaking awesome, right?
Andy Best, and I teach Spanish. I want to honor Maria Lorena Ramirez, a 26-year-old ultramarathoner from an indigenous group called Raramuri in Mexico. And I want to honor her for International Women's Day because she's an incredible runner and she placed first in a 50-kilometer race wearing sandals and her traditional dress. She's important to me because as a woman, a Mexican woman, a runner, she makes me feel represented.
Hey there, I'm Miss McCaffrey, an English teacher here at Bowie, and this month for Women's History Month, I would like to honor the queens of true crime podcasting, the hosts of My Favorite Murder, Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark. I want to honor them because I think the way that they talk about the cases they do is commendable, and I really appreciate the way that they prioritize their own mental health and destigmatize it for the rest of us. Good afternoon, I'm Melanie Walters, Social Studies teacher. I am honoring the life of Dr. Diane Fossey this afternoon during Women's History Month. Dr. Fossey was an American researcher and primatologist, which meant that she studied animals, specifically the mountain gorilla of the continent of Africa. Her training as a zoologist and a primatologist led her to Africa to study 18 years in Rwanda, the Congo, and Tanzania, the social aspects and the behavior of this animal. Dr. Fossey was very against the practice of poaching, to kill an animal for sale on the black market or for personal profit. There was a movie about Dr. Fossey created called Gorillas in the Midst, a book by the same title. And in her honor after her death, the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund was created as a living legacy to the mountain gorillas of Rwanda. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Carl Lauer, and I am a U.S. history teacher and assistant softball coach here at Bowie High School. And for National Women's Month, I would like to honor a woman who made great contributions to the greatest game on earth, the game of baseball. Her name is Dorothy Kamenchek. Dorothy Kamenchek joined the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League when originally started in 1943. She was a member of the Rockford Peaches, and in her 10 years in the league became the all-time hits and total bases leader. She was considered one of the best athletes of her time, and New York Yankee Wally Pipp even said she was the most accomplished player he had ever seen. When her playing days were over, she got a degree in physical therapy and would eventually become the chief of therapy at the Los Angeles Crippled Children's Center. In 1988, she became part of the AAGPBL display in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, that is still there today. In 2010, she would also be elected to the National Women's Baseball Hall of Fame. She is also the main character in the famous movie A League of Their Own. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And it is for all of these reasons I would like to honor Dorothy Kamenschek for her contributions to what she did for female athletes everywhere.
Hey there, this is Miss Walker, the librarian here at Bowie. Today I would like to honor and celebrate Ruth Bader Ginsburg for Women's History Month. She was an instrumental figure in paving the way for women's rights. She was born in Brooklyn, New York, and after attending law school, she founded the Women's Rights Project in 1972. She was able to go on and have a very successful law career, and she argued 6 cases in 1973 to 1976 and won 5 out of those 6 for gender rights and equality. She went on to be nominated and accepted in the Supreme Court by Bill Clinton, where she served from 1993 until 2020 of last year upon her death. So women today can thank her for equal rights and equal treatment.
As we celebrate Women's History Month, my shout out is to Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony has always been one of my heroes. She is someone who lived in the 1800s, and she fought for women to be able to vote. So basically the beginning of equal rights for women. She devoted her life to this mission and was often found to be ridiculed for it. She was accused of trying to break up the institution of marriage, and she was persecuted for her fighting for this right. Every time that I go to vote, I think of Susan B. Anthony, and I thank her silently for all the work that she did to help not only women, but all people. Because when we are given this freedom as women, we are given this freedom as human beings. So thank you to Susan B. Anthony and for our ability to vote.
My name is Mrs. Ezel, and I would like to honor Joan of Arc for Women's History Month because of her courage and leadership during the 100 Years' War between England and France in the 1500s. Joan of Arc led the French to battle victories as a young woman and was burned at the stake after being captured by the British. They thought that with that much success, she must have been a witch if she was a female. Joan of Arc was one of the first female superheroes.
Hi, I'm Susan Leos, Dean of Instruction here at Bowie High School. I would like to honor Barbara Jordan for International Women's Day. Jordan was a lawyer and a civil rights activist, and she was the first African-American woman in the 20th century to serve in Congress from the South. Her political work focused on anti-discrimination efforts, and when she left office, she served as a professor at the University of Texas at Austin. I was fortunate enough to get to hear her speak when I was a student at UT. I celebrate Barbara Jordan because she's a leader of integrity whose intelligence and perseverance shaped a better world. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miss Floyd. I teach AP US History and Ethnic Studies, and today I want to give a shout out to Jovita Irar. This is a woman among women, y'all. She was born in Texas in Laredo. She's 1885 to 1946. The reason I want to honor her is because there's nothing she couldn't do. She was a teacher amongst students who were considered not deserving of being educated. She was a journalist who took on the Texas Rangers, who spoke truth to power. She was a community organizer. She was the first president of the League of Mexican Women, recognizing the power of women to organize and to make a difference. She was a nurse during the Mexican Revolution. The woman lived 4 lives in her 61 years. I honor her because she decided to change the world, one kid, one person at a time. Thanks, Opita. May we all be like you.
Hi guys, today I want to tell you about Dr. Zinaida Yermolieva, who was a Soviet microbiologist. She performed an experiment on herself during the 1922 cholera epidemic and almost died in the process. And this experiment helped establish modern standards for water chlorination, which helped prevent illness. She also invented methods for rapid cholera diagnosis, as well as an effective treatment for cholera, typhoid fever, and diphtheria. Her most important accomplishment is the development of Cristocin, which is the first Russian antibiotic and was thought to be more effective than penicillin, which gave her the nickname Mrs. Penicillin. Thank you for learning about Dr. Zinaida Yermolieva.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Davis, and I teach AP Bio and pre-AP Biology, and I would like to honor Rosalind Franklin for Women's History Month and International Women's Day. Rosalind Franklin was truly a pioneer in molecular biology. Her X-ray crystallography work led to the elucidation of the double helical structure of DNA. Here by her side in this photo, we see photo 51. It was that X-ray crystallography that really led to the discovery of the double helical structure of DNA. Beyond DNA, she also made contributions in the fields of RNA and viruses. So Rosalind Franklin continues to inspire me, and she has really, truly forged a path forward for women in science.
Hello, I am Coach Thompson. I teach and coach at Bowie High School. I teach world history and coach football and basketball. Today, I want to honor this lady, Kathy Ellison. Kathy Ellison. I want to honor her as in regards to Women's History Month and Women's International Day, because Kathy Ellison is from a very small town from Dale, Texas. Probably at that time when she was born, probably had about 500 people. Population today is about 7,000. But anyway, Kathy Ellison made history. Okay, she made history in the Austin Police Department. She was the first Black female police officer with the Austin Police Department in 1979. During Kathy Ellison's career, she was the Austin Police Department. She climbed the ranks and position. She worked as a patrol officer, a recruiter, a detective, a sergeant, and a lieutenant, and also assistant chief and an interim chief. Kathy Ellison holds the honor of being the first Black woman to be the assistant or interim chief. Chief Ellison also had been inducted into the National African American Women Hall of Fame and has received numerous recommendations from the Austin Police Department. Thank you.
Hello, Bowie students. I am Miss Rolfe, and I teach creative writing and English too. I would like to honor ancient Greek poet Sappho in honor of Women's History Month and International Women's Day. And I'd like to honor her not only because she is one of the earliest queer and female poets in the world. She was born in about 615 BC, but also I think we have her to thank for all of the wonderful love songs and poems that exist in the world. Without Sappho, there would be no Taylor Swift. And unlike all of her male counterparts who were writing about war and death and violence and all that macho ancient Greece stuff, Sappho wrote lyric poetry. And lyric poetry is poetry that is often set to music, not necessarily, but it's one individual speaking to another individual. And that is my absolute favorite kind of writing and music. I'd like to share just a great quote from her that I really, really love. May I write words more naked than flesh, stronger than bone, more resilient than sinew, sensitive than nerve. Pretty good, huh? All right, thank you.
Hi, I'm Miss Carol, and I'm the STEM instructional coach here at Bowie. For International Women's Day, I want to honor the late Dr. Miriam Mirzakhani, the only female to have ever received the Fields Medal, which is said to be the equivalent of the Nobel Prize for mathematics. She specialized in theoretical mathematics, and her award-winning work has implications concerning the theoretical physics of how the universe came to exist. Her work was almost entirely visual, not just about numbers, but visualizing patterns and ideas. In 6th grade, her teacher told her she wasn't good at math. Thankfully for the world, she met teachers later who believed in her abilities. She also talked publicly about how she wasn't fast at math. She worked slowly and thought deeply about mathematics. Miriam taught us to remember that mathematics is a beautiful puzzle that isn't just about solving problems quickly, but connecting bigger ideas together. Her colleagues said that she was fearless and was driven to solve problems that were never solved before.
Hey Bulldogs, this is Prophet Tagle. I wanted to give a quick shout out today to poet Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz. Sor Juana is famous for many things. She was an incredible writer from Mexico, a 17th century poet. And what wows and inspires me about Sor Juana is that she was a member of the Spanish court, and she was really set up to be married off and enjoy a life of nobility. But she was a passionate student, and she knew that the only way that she could continue with her studies was to join the church. And so she took the vows of the church, the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, and left her life of privilege behind so that she could continue to research and write and study, and of course, become a voice for women's rights. Be inspired, Bulldogs. Ciao, ciao.
Hillary Rodham Clinton is one of the raddest, baddest women on the planet. Yale Law School grad, mother, wife, First Lady of Arkansas, First Lady of the United States Senator, United States Secretary of State, winner of the popular vote in the 2016 presidential election. Brushing off shoulders and smashing glass ceilings for us and our daughters forever.
I go home, yeah, what's mine, hey, what's mine, I'm a star, cause I slay, we gon' slay, we slay, I slay, okay, ladies, now let's get information, what I say, okay, ladies, now let's get information, what I say, true to me, you got some coordination, what I say, slay, you get eliminated.